Hey, what's up everybody? Hope you're having a good day. I have a couple quick tips when moving objects in your scene that have keyframes. Before I get started, this 3D scene is completely free over at the Pixel Lab. I'll put a link below so you can grab that if you would like it. All right, so a lot of times you'll have a camera and you will put a camera animation on it. So we have a couple keyframes, but then you also realize that maybe you want to rotate around an object and you don't want to go in and play with these keyframes. So you want to just animate maybe a null. So we can kind of have the camera rotating around with a null. So I do have a null in here, but the problem is because this camera already has keyframes in it, if I put the camera into the null and then I scrub, you'll notice that it kind of popped my camera to a completely different spot, which we don't want. And that's because it's moving these keyframes to a different position based on where this null is. So there is a way around this, which is a really handy feature that not too many people know about. If we click our camera and then we hold Shift-C down, there is a command called Set Parent. So we'll type in Set Parent, double click on it, and our pointer will turn into a little finger, a little pointy finger, and we're gonna click on this null. Now, it looks like the camera just was put into that null the same way that we just drag and dropped it into that null, but actually it's running a different process. So if we scrub now, everything is exactly how we want it. Now we can take this null and we can animate it and add some banking or rotation or whatever. So if you're gonna do some complex camera animation, this might be a very handy tip. Now let's say that you have something that has keyframes and it's in a null, but you wanna get it out of there. If we pull this out of here and we scrub, you'll notice that the same thing happened. It just kind of like wrecked the parent-child relationship and it kind of put us in a position in the scene where we don't want it. Well, there is actually an unparent command as well. If we just type in unparent and we just double click it, it's going to take that camera and pop it out of that null, but it's going to leave it exactly where we want it. The other thing you can use this for is if you have something like geometry that has keyframes in it. So if we have a cube, for instance, just a quick little drop down animation, 2 keyframes. Let's say that we wanted to put this in a null as well. Let's drag it and put it into the null and we'll see what happens. If we scrub through here, you'll notice that it popped back to some really crazy spot, which is not what we want. So we're gonna hit undo. And what we're gonna do instead is we'll click that cube, Shift-C, Set Parent, double click it, and then we're gonna click on this null. And now everything works just how we wanted it to. Now we can take that null, we can animate it, rotate it. We can even put this in a separate location and we can have the animation happen over there. So let me undo that. And incidentally, if you wanted to simply move this cube to a different spot, but keep these keyframes, if we just move this away, you'll notice that these keyframes stayed here. And if we scrub through it, it's just gonna snap back to there. So we're in model mode right now. If we click model mode and twirl it down, there is an animation mode. If we click that, now watch these keyframe handles as we move this. They're gonna go with it wherever we put it. So then we can just move our object to a different spot in our scene, but it's gonna keep those keyframes exactly where they were relative to it. So then we can move our object and keep the keyframes. Now with the camera, putting it in a null gives you a lot more flexibility for rotating and banking. So the set parent command is really clutch in that case. Otherwise, you could potentially just use this animation feature. I hope you learned something new. Make sure to grab this free 3D scene over at the Pixel Lab, and we'll talk to you next time. Ciao. Hey, what's up everybody? Boy, oh boy, do we have a big treat for you today. We are giving you the biggest freebie that we have ever given away at the Pixel Lab. We are giving away a full pack valued at $99 for free. It's called Hard Surfaces, and it is Kit Bash at its finest with over 200 Kit Bash style models. It also has a bunch of fully built out elements and 4 full 3D scenes. This comes for Octane, for Cinema 4D, and we are also including the OBJ files so you can use them in any other program as well. This pack is full to the brim with elements you can use to make your designs come to life, and I'm really excited to share it with you for free. Just head over to the website and subscribe to our email newsletter, and you'll get a download link sent to you automatically. Feel free to use these for whatever you want, including commercial work, and if you make something cool, please tag me so I can check it out. I love seeing your work. All right, good luck, and I hope this pack will be super useful to you. Enjoy. Cheers.